Okay, not my first rodeo. My name is Martin Hyde. I'm one of hundreds of thousands of local taxpayers who subsidize this facility, which was simply called Sarasota Hospital when it was first opened in 1925, at which time it had about 30 beds and it housed partly in canvas tents. In 1927, it was renamed Sarasota Municipal Hospital when it was handed over to the city of Sarasota. And by the 1930s, had around 100 beds, an ambulance station, a nurse's residence, and a patient overflow wing. In 1954, it changed its name to its current one, Sarasota Memorial Hospital, to honor those who died for our country in World Wars I and II. In 2022, Sarasota Memorial Hospital System has over 800 beds, close to 8,000 employees, and annual revenues, as we just heard, well north of $1 billion. Sarasota Memorial, has a CEO whose salary is well over $1 million a year, with the security of a 10-year contract approved by this board. The elected board of Sarasota Memorial Hospital holds these monthly public meetings as required by statute. Now, we've heard that these meetings are abbreviated to save for COVID. I'd make the point that this is a time when we should have more public access, not less. One point I would make, we're so bothered about COVID, you're handing microphones around like COVID sticks. Masks ain't gonna help you if you ain't got gloves on, so just a thought. Anyway, the total length of these meetings for the whole of 2021 that was publicly broadcast was 393 minutes, which is an average of just under 33 minutes of public viewing per month. This would indicate that either you are extraordinarily efficient and able to discuss $100 million of monthly revenue and public policy in just over half an hour a month, or that 30 minutes a month is plenty of time to blindly rubber stamp what is being done with our tax dollars without question. So I brought a few questions for you. These are questions that I'd like to see answered publicly at some point during these meetings. They'd include the following. How many patients are admitted for COVID as opposed to with COVID on a daily basis? Why has the hospital changed the way it reports COVID cases to include people who had it but no longer have it, but remain hospitalized for other reasons? Why does the hospital only count as vaccinated those who present with their physical vaccine cards on their person and count all others as unvaccinated, even if they might actually be vaccinated? Why does the hospital code those patients who test negative for COVID as having been exposed to those with COVID? Is it true, and I have proof that it is, that the employee health line has been telling staff who test positive for COVID but are asymptomatic to report back to work within a few days without the requirement for a negative test? Is it true, and again, assume that I have evidence that it is, that some cardiac surgeons within this healthcare system are refusing to operate on unvaccinated patients? Can you confirm that patients at the Bayside Facility for Mental Health are not isolated from each other regardless of their COVID status, which again, I can prove? Is it correct to assert that over 90% of ventilator use in the last month was for non-COVID patients? Where can the public find out how many patients died at the hospital in the last 22 months without COVID? Because we clearly know exactly how many allegedly died with it. Finally, what is the board's position on the staff who worked pre-vaccine, risking their own health, who choose now not to be vaccinated, which by definition remains a risk for them and not for patients, as being contagious is not stopped by vaccination? The answers to these 10 questions might take longer next month than 33 minutes, but you were all elected as representative of taxpayers, not as cheerleaders for unelected bureaucrats. Thank you for your time.